cold Sunday morning, so I've decided to make some beef stew for tonight. Make it the old-fashioned way. Well, first you start off with the pot, and I'm going to season the pot here. This is some beef broth, flavoring for whatever. Just adds a little taste to it. Throw in 2 or 3 bay leaves. If you don't like the taste of bay leaves, just leave them out. Good spoonful of garlic. And this is the bottom of an onion that you normally cut off and throw away. It goes in. Then you want about a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of salt. And turn that on to start getting warm. Now I'll fix the meat that goes in it. This meat has been in the freezer a few days. My wife found it the other day at the store, and it's been in the refrigerator overnight thawing. And you want to sort through it and be sure on the size of the pieces. Nice bite-sized pieces here. If there's any that are too big, we can cut them down now. Thawed all the way through, seems. You need to cook the meat first for about 2 hours, because if you don't, the meat will be tough when the vegetables are done. Or if you cook it long enough to get the meat tender, the vegetables have turned to gravy. Oh, that looks pretty good. Now I'll braise this. You want about 2 tablespoons of flour in a plastic bag. Throw the meat in there with it. Salt the meat now, works best. And shake it in this bag with the flour to coat it with flour to braise it. You warm the skillet, put a little oil in it. It doesn't take a lot. Run that around. And dump the floured meat in the skillet. I'm going to braise this. In other words, brown it on the outside. That helps retain the flavor of the beef and everything like that. We'll wait a few minutes here for this to get going. Okay, it's browned on one side. I'll turn it to brown the other side. outside brown. Okay, this is done and ready to go in the pot. Now I'll show you a little trick here. About a half cup of coffee. Deglaze the pan. That adds a special flavor to it and also picks up all the crumbles off there and also adds a little bit of that nice brown color. Okay, the meat has cooked for about 2 hours and I checked it and it's tender, and I've checked the seasoning on it and it's good. So now it's time to put in the vegetables. I've already prepped some of them here. I have onions here in chunks, or onion rather, not onions. And these little carrots, little baby carrots, they're about the right size. You want bite size and everything. And this is celery and it's all cut in bite size. This is stew, it's not soup where you get a spoonful of all the different items. This is where you can find and identify each particular item in there. And this is a red potato. Now, a lot of people want to use white or russet baking potatoes, but the red potato is a lot firmer and it'll hold up better in the stew than the others will. It won't get mushy. So I'll cut it up in bite-sized cubes and put it in now. Split it in two. These go in. And that goes in. Now the last thing is a can of diced tomatoes. You can use any kind of cut that you want to in them. But diced makes them about the right size bites. And tomatoes always helps. And I'm going to add some water to it to bring it up to the top of the vegetables there. And the can for the tomatoes makes a great way to do that. I'll put the lid on and let that simmer then until the vegetables are done, and it'll be ready to serve. And here it is on the table, ready to eat.